Welcome to the author era experience. I have put these 3 days together because I just really want to help you get really clear on the best signature book that you can create for your business to attract your beautiful ideal clients into your world and create this great customer journey experience. So if you've been with me before, you probably understand a little bit about what we've been doing over the past few days. But I also want to just do a bit of a recap. If any of you are jumping in on day 3 and you still are, taking some time to watch the replays, then I want to share with you the journey to date. So we are unpacking your book in real time today. Welcome. And it is going to be an amazing experience. I cannot wait to share the AI powerhouse with you. I have developed this to help my clients make all those connections and get their AI software to create the best positioned book. And before you even write any words, it's really, really important for you to write the right book. Okay. So lovely to have so many people here. We've got people from Phuket, from Australia, from I think Sydney, from Melbourne. We're all here. So, and quite a few of us have been here for a few days, which is amazing. So you're in the best position, the best seat today, because you have a lot of that ground knowledge that's important to have in your wheelhouse before you start writing a book. So I'd love you to share in the comments why you have decided to step into your author era. So day 1, I spoke about really stepping into your new author identity and what that means, because we don't just want to write a book to sell a $27 sale. Right? We are here to create a movement. We are here to lead. We are here to create something incredible. And this is the reason why you write a signature book. It is going to help propel your business with clarity, with a shorter customer journey, and also bringing those ideal clients into your world. They'll be jumping through your book download into a sequence and straight onto a call and signing up to your high ticket offers. I have seen it, I've tested it in my own business, and I know it works really well. And so today I'm going to be empowering you to put those pieces together so that you can create your book outline. So today I'm going to be doing a quick summary so that you can recap and remember what person is writing this book today, and exactly what mission, what is your one thing that you want to solve with this book, knowing that it's not even about you, it's actually about the person you want to bring into your world, and what is that one thing, that's that biggest pain point they once solved. Okay, so for me, in putting together the author era, I know that when people start thinking about writing books, the biggest pain point is just getting started and creating a book outline. Okay, so how can I solve that problem? I've created AI Powerhouse to help you with some prompts to help you lead through the steps that I would take with my clients to do that one-to-one. And so now I've created a tool to help you empower yourself to play around, to get some ideas down and start positioning your book correctly. And so that for me solves a big problem, because a lot of people will just start writing a book without a very clear idea of why they're writing a book, who they're writing the book for, what the offer is that they're leading into. So this is such a power-packed 3 days because it's taking you on your journey that you need to walk through before you even start writing a book. So I'm going to walk you through the book framework, and then we're also going to start talking about your customer journey. What is the steps from the book into the world with you? Now, I know we've got quite a few different niches here, so pop in the comments what business niche you're in, because it really does help to understand where the next step would be. So for example, in a book, for one of my books, I have a business audit, which is the next step inside the book. So you start reading the book, you take your business audit with me, you fill out a quiz, and then you jump on a call with me to unpack your business audit. See how quickly and seamlessly that works for my business. And I'd love you to start thinking about, from the book, what is the next obvious step for them to come into my world? All right, so we have holistic health and accelerated learning. Amazing. I know we've got a beauty business here. We have Philippa, your niche is, what are we, like empowerment, like personal empowerment, confidence, resilience building. Yeah. Okay, amazing. And as we move through the session, it really doesn't even matter what niche you're in, because I have developed what I call as the sacred sales system for female-based businesses. And that is all about helping you craft out a deep dive questionnaire. And every one of my clients will start off with a questionnaire as their lead magnets. And the thing with the book, which is so powerful, because it's really hard to get a questionnaire into a funnel and do all the pieces of the puzzle. It's almost like it's too quick. So if the book comes before the quiz, you have the opt-in for the book, and then people can take the next step with the quiz. And that is then the next step in the journey. Okay, so if you don't have a quiz, that is such a powerful asset to have as part of your book sequence. And that is how you connect your book, right? That's in your sales system onto waking up to calls and taking on new clients. That is as simple as it can be. You could also lead into different mini experiences like this, like a live experience. But it's important to kind of work backwards of like, what would you desire your premium clients, what do you want them to experience as they enter your world? And so for me, the book is not really about a lot of knowledge. The book is about the activation. The book is about the vision. And this is why I have focused on creating books that solve a very specific problem. And then I use these books, ebooks. You have a copy of something that is just a Google document, right? It's an ebook. It's got instructions. It solves a problem. You have an asset. You have the AI powerhouse as well. And you can also evolve this book, like I'll show you later today, into a Canva, beautiful lookbook, a Canva template that then can be PDF'd with links inside as well. You can also take it to the next step and develop out a full, 5,000 word book that produces a lot more information and deep dive results. But there are different versions and you can decide what you feel is the best positioning for who you want to bring in. All right, so let's get started. So yesterday we activated your author identity. And so we're just going to go through recap so that we can just really step into our author identity today, even before we start positioning our book. So today with our author identity, we're just going to start looking at the book to the business system I've just talked through. Today, we're going to go through this book to business system, looking at how the book fits into the bigger system. I will speak to you about the book framework. So to have a book, a really good quality book that actually leads into a high ticket offer, there's certain key elements that need to be in place. And then we're going to start playing with the AI powerhouse today, using some prompts and creating your book outline. And then I also have some client highlights. I've got some people who are going to jump on and have a bit of a chat about what it's like to work with me, what the experience is like. And yeah, it's all about sharing with you how you can create this business and do something you love and be a bit more strategic about what you do to attract your clients. All right. And if you did the business audit yesterday, most of you probably have rated attraction as a low pillar. So this book will really help you to develop out that attraction pillar. So this is what you could absolutely lead with. Look how amazing it looks, productizing your business and your knowledge and having an ebook that is something that people desire. This ebook can now be searchable. It can live on Pinterest. It can live on your website. It can be shared in social posts. You can put ads behind it. When you have your funnel and all the other systems in place, you can definitely start automating your lead generation. So I'm so excited about leading with books because those premium clients need some options. They don't necessarily always have the right time zone or have the time with kids and all the things they're doing to dive into like hour-long experiences. So what if you could do both? You could have the ebook building trust that just in simply having that will have someone jump through the steps. I've woken up over the last few days with emails from people who have signed up to this challenge and want to jump on a call with me, and they haven't even attended the live sessions yet. So this is because there is a clear system, clear messaging, very clear outcome, and they already know what I'm about because I'm so, I suppose I am so good at what I do, right? So I'm so good at the sales copy, understanding what people want. I've got something unique. And I also have focused a lot on the branding and who I want to call in and the types of people who I work with. It's very, very clear. So with that said, you can, by the end of a week, you could have an ebook created, right? And that is something that will start generating leads for you. So this is why it's such an important thing to create, and this is why this 3-day experience is helping you get there faster so that you can end up with your ebook as fast as possible, and you can always develop it over time, right? We want to get out of perfection and we want to really move into activation and into getting our new beautiful leads into our business and jumping on calls and sharing our value and just being at service. So the real secret here of why authors and coaches are not monetizing their books is really because they're thinking the book is a product. And so in everything I've shared with you, even if you're an Amazon bestseller, just like Susan shared yesterday, she has 24 books, and there are 1% of authors that are actually monetizing their books because they're sitting on Amazon and they're out of their own sales sequence. They're passively hoping for a sale, and they're not actually using the book as an asset in the business. So this series is about helping you change that mindset to look at the book is not the product, right? It's the pathway. Your high ticket offer is the product, but you simply cannot be on social media selling a high ticket offer without giving someone value, a breakthrough, and building some trust. So if you think you're going to create a sales page and wait for clients to drop in, that's also not going to work because you haven't created the pathway. So this is how important the book is. You have your sales page, but then you also need your book funnel. And then your book is going to be promoted on social media. Your book is going to be the one attracting clients. It's going to be nurturing them onto a call with you or straight into your program. Okay. So I'd love for you to pop in the comments whether this has hit home for you, right? Is there anything new here that you've heard? Think maybe you already know this, but now it's like, okay, I can really see that there's a gap in my business. Maybe I have been passively waiting for sales, and that can certainly be fixed very quickly. Yes. And with this system, you don't even need a sales page. I love the idea that you create your book first. You let the book position calls and you jump on calls and you sell through giving value. You don't even need a sales page. The sales page can come later. And this is where most business owners get stuck. They get stuck in building a sales page before they even know who they're bringing in, and they haven't even developed a lead magnet yet. So it is just a waste of time and a waste of resources and money. All right. So what we're doing today is so highly valuable, whether or not you have a sales page, whether or not you have funnels or software or anything like that. You can lead with your book simply on a Google Drive document and with a link shared. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. And that is certainly how I share a lot of my ebooks now to my email list. And I obviously do have a sales funnel now, but you don't need that to start bringing in leads for sure. Okay, so we are shifting today from thinking about a content creator writing a book into a category creator. We are thinking about leading with words and really positioning our message and how the book is really becoming a movement. It's not the product. So when you think about this differently, you start realizing that the book isn't about pumping all your information and knowledge that you know into a book. It's actually more about providing a quick win taking someone through a few steps, sharing a signature system or sharing how unique you are, getting them a quick win, and then allowing them to understand that this is a small part of a bigger journey. And then obviously with that quick win, you've developed some trust, you've given value, they've accomplished something. And then if they're in the right mindset and they're the right client, they will want to take the next step with you to find out what the bigger journey is, because they have decided that they have more problems that need to be solved. And you are the person that's right for them. Out of everyone else out there, they feel this resonance to you. And that is the power of your book. All right. So with that in mind, as we start thinking a bit differently about writing our book, we're going to move from writing a book just to share our story, this therapeutic writing. And we're going to think about, well, what if we just write it to be seen, to be more visible? What would that need to look like? But what if we actually are also leveling up to write for connection, like creating a movement, creating something that brings people together, creating change, creating something that is a ethical code, a new way of thinking, right? Then we start moving up to thought leadership. It's like, what if this book can actually really be the thing that people are like, wait, what? She's doing that? That's so unique, okay? So now we're starting to lead with authority. We're starting to lead with esteem in our voice. And as you evolve your ideas upwards, this could take time for you to work your way up Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but it's important to see who you're bringing in, right? When you write for legacy, that just gives me tingles, okay? Because, wow, what if my book can impact women around the globe, make so much change in people's lives, and be the one thing that is like a game changer? What do I need to write for legacy? So I have a lot of book ideas that I could certainly just pump out books, but I'm focused on what is the legacy I want to create. What is the one signature book that I want to put out there as the front, the attraction, the magnetizing asset in my business that I become known for? And then I leverage with ads, that I build a movement, that I build branding, that I build clarity behind. And it's the one thing I'm known for. What would that be? And I can tell you right now, it's my bigger mission, obviously. My bigger mission is to empower 1,000 diamonds to change their generational wealth. So that's the bigger mission for me. It's like, how can I impact 1,000 women around the globe to step into wealth, to change their generational lines? I'm already doing it in my family. My son is now becoming an entrepreneur. He's just bought a 3D printer and he's starting to think like an entrepreneur. I'm so proud of him. So I'm doing it in my family. I'm leading and I'm sharing with my children how they can be different in the world, in this world, how things are changing and how to adapt and change. So this is why leading with AI, creating books that make sense, creating books that create legacy, not even needing to have your book on Amazon. That is like so unique, so different right now that I think solves a big problem for people. So in writing for legacy, you also need to understand what is the gap in the industry, like what needs to be changed or fixed. And that is the thing that you can actually lead with and really make big change. So if you've got some ideas so far, put them in the chat and let's have a little chat about them before we start moving into scripting. Because once we get into the AI scripting, you're literally going to be starting to type out instructions to the software to start writing out your book. But it has to come from you first. You have to do this like real deep dive thought process to create a powerful book. The software will not just do it for you. Okay. All right. So yesterday, I took you through a business audit. Now, I want you to think about, like I mentioned earlier, what if you had an audit or a questionnaire inside your book? What could that be that helps someone get a quick win? This business audit that I took you through takes 5 minutes and produces huge results. It also has a Google form. It has a whole sales presentation. I've been doing these audits for so long now. I've spoken to over 70 people. Over 100 people have filled out that questionnaire. It is a whole system in itself. But what I love about it is it gets really quick wins and helps people do a self-assessment and really feel where the problem is. So what could you create? We had some questions yesterday around what quiz should I create? And you may already know that you have a quiz or a signature system. How could you turn what you do into an assessment style quiz? Now, the reason why I love a questionnaire is because it's quick, fast results, and people love to find out a bit more about themselves. So I always lead a questionnaire before a call because it helps me prepare and understand, and helps the person come onto a sales call or even just a deep dive audit call with some understanding of what questions you asked, what you do, and how you can solve their problem. All right. So it takes those connection calls to that next level where they're actually an audit call where you are leading the conversation and having some really impactful results assessment with someone to give them that feeling that you know exactly what their pain points are and you know how to solve it. All right. So Philippa, your legacy is to empower women to become more connected to themselves and each other. Amazing. I think we do need more connection these days. That's a huge mission. That is something that can create a movement, something that really helps people feel seen and part of a home. And there are a lot of people these days that need more of that. So amazing. I love it. So the AI book creation. So I have dropped the link for AI Powerhouse, and this is going to really help you in starting to generate your book outline. Now, once you have your book outline created, you can certainly continue the conversation and build out your book. But today we're just focusing on creating a really good book outline. And this Powerhouse is already, scripted to have a few prompts. So the very first thing you can do is start just maybe clicking on one of the prompts to see what it leads you through. So it has been set up so that it's already got a lot of the prompts that I would be asking my clients, the steps that I would take them on. It knows, how to outline a book. It's been preloaded and pre-filmed with a lot of information. And that's why it's a custom app. Okay. But also know that we need to let your software know what your offer is and what your ideal client is and what book you want to create. So the first few prompts do need to come from you, and then we can evolve it out. So this is your opportunity to step into a higher league in your industry and position yourself as the go-to expert who commands top dollar. When you stand at this level and view yourself as the go-to expert, then the book that you need to write becomes bolder, more empowering, and it starts creating a legacy. And if you're feeling a little bit stuck with how to create this, you can absolutely put this into ChatGPT and ask it to suggest to you, based on your industry and your beliefs, what would be the way that you could position yourself as a go-to expert. And sometimes we just can do a bit of brainstorming, and that's also why I love the AI software. I have used it in my ad copy creation, and it's been really interesting to see what it assesses. Give it 5 ad copies, tell it what you want to achieve, and it will come back and say, well, this one matches your ideal client because of this, and this is the best one to lead with because of that. So sometimes it can also help you fine tune ideas and get a bit clearer with what is the one pain point my book needs to be about. Alrighty. Okay. So today is all about bringing everything together. We're going to focus on a champagne client problems. And that is when we look at that hierarchy, Maslow's hierarchy, that is the top, someone who is successful, empowered, right? Someone who is not at the low level where they need to be fixed and saved. We are focusing on those clients where we can get the best results for them, and also those people who are willing to invest in the solution. So what solution do your champagne clients want solved? And this will help you identify, what your offer needs to be, and also, what journey they want to be on. So your role today is to get really clear on articulating and refining the most urgent challenges they are experiencing, and then create a book that solves it. Okay. So when you use AI Powerhouse, you can absolutely create your book outline and then start evolving your book out and have it done in 4 hours. I've used it. I've written books for my clients using the software too, and I'm so thrilled with what it's creating. And the thing is, sometimes you just need to get it done, right? To move on to the next step in your business, to get out, do your live events and start showing up and start really leading and, having more time for everything else. So the fastest you can get your first book done, the better, because then you have more clarity, you have something to lean towards, you have your North Star, and then everything else in your business can come from there. So we want you to leverage the Powerhouse to bring together your clients that you want to bring in and the offer that you want to lead them into to solve their problem. So this is not another freebie. It's not another low ticket distraction. It's not unclear generic messaging. It is a very specific book that solves a problem that they feel will get them to a solution and makes it feel easy. So we've got some AI prompts here. You also have your AI prompt documents, but this is the flow that I would suggest you take. So the very first step we covered in the series was to create your author identity. So with this prompt, I would start with this because this is where you are training the software to know what you want to create and who is speaking the book. The next step I would take is to align the book with your offer. So giving information, uploading your offer documents, uploading your sales page copy. Our clients have very detailed client pain point documents. So they can upload, here's my ideal client, here's the pain points, here's the solution, here's my signature system, here is the transformation and result I provide. And it's as simple as uploading that document. Then the next step, once you've got your identity, your book is aligned with your offer and it knows exactly what the pain points are, now we need to identify the journey. So obviously, like if you've been listening, the book is not going to solve the whole problem. So we need to identify the very first step in the journey that you want this book to be about, because it's not about solving the whole problem in a book. More information is not going to solve any problems. So think about the journey. So what needs to be in the book for them to take the next step, and what one problem are they most excited to get solved, right? And often it might not be the problem that you want to lead with. So this is an important part. And then once you've got a few of those steps mapped out, which I'll give you some time to do in a second, we will start positioning the offer. So in the books that I position, there's 3 very clear parts of the book, right? Because I'm thinking about the psychology of the person writing the book. The very first part is about you, your mission, the bigger thing, how you're different, and why this book is the thing that will solve a very core problem. The next part is in really stepping into how you solve the problem. So the second part of the book needs to be the problem solver. Do this, then do that, and this is how you solve your problem. And then the third part has to be the next step in the journey. So once they've gone through solving the problem, maybe taking a quiz, looking through the quiz results, maybe identifying what's missing, maybe even taking some small action. Then the third part of your book has to be positioning your offer, because why else are you putting a book out into the world, right? You want people reading the book to be understanding who you are, what problems you solve, what the journey feels like with you, and what the next step is in the journey. And so with those 3 parts unpacked, now you're starting to really think strategically with your book. And these are things that you have to infuse into your notes as you evolve out the book idea and work with the AI, because it's not as simple as asking it to produce a book outline. Okay, you really have to think strategically about what you want this book to be, because it's going to take a little bit of tweaking and evolving to get it to the right state. Okay. So let me know in the comments if this 3-part book strategy makes sense to you, if you understand how this helps someone move through from a reader into taking action and activating and solving a problem, and then naturally leading to the next step. The worst thing you can do in your book is to just focus on solving as many problems as you can, and then not actually leaving any desire or stretch for that person to reach out to you to solve a bigger problem. So the purpose of your book is about painting that bigger picture and saying that this is the small problem we're solving. There is a lot more you obviously can help them with. And having a signature system, a client journey inside the book really helps them to see where they are in that step. Amazing. Okay. And then obviously we are going to start, let me just go back to the slide here. Okay, so we're now positioning the offer at stage 3 of the book, where we're starting to move into a soft pitch, a call to action for them to be invited into either the offer or the next step with you, into an experience, a step, a call, whatever it is, take a quiz, whatever the next step would be. And then once you have this laid out, then it's about really getting clear on the tone and how you unpack that tone within your book. So training the tone of the AI so it doesn't sound like, obviously, that it wasn't written by you. Obviously, I have a lot of prompts and things that I've been working on, and I'm really excited about the power of having my tone really tuned in, that I actually have developed another AI app that writes my content for me, because I just wanted to then take my ideas, my offers, my book, and have it go through another content creator that helps me speak the way I want to speak and create my email sequences, my sales copy, my Facebook ads. Everything comes through that AI software to just really set the tone and have it be really magnetic. So this is exciting. You're learning a new skill set, you're learning new ways of using AI, and these skills will help you in all areas of your business, not just creating a book outline. And then we get to move from a book to a brand, right? So now you're taking your book and now you're starting to think about, how do I share this funnel, this pathway? You need, once you have a book and you have something that is a lead in, you've got to fill the funnel, fill the pathway with people that know about it. So the next step would be, what do I need to be doing? A podcast or a live event or Facebook ads that will help fuel more people to be aware of this signature book. All right, so that is the final stage of monetizing and really getting the book out into the world. Amazing. All right, so part of the high ticket author program, we do go into a lot more of buyer behavior, biopsychology, understanding different types of leadership styles and communication, and how to allow people to feel seen and heard, but also focus on their buyer triggers. And sometimes if your book is not really thinking or positioned for the buyer experience, then you may be leaving money on the table because you're not actually creating a sense of urgency or a reason to move, or having them feel that all their questions and trust have been answered within the book. So this is where there's extra levels that you can evolve to really have your book be converting better. Okay, and that's a whole module inside the program that we go through. All right, and so for example, there are 4 levels. I'm an action leader, so I focus on taking action, lots of action. I'm a generator as well, human design. So I am very much an action-based leader, and I like to implement actions. But you might be a nurture leader, and Philip, it'll be interesting to see what your bank code is. I don't know if we've done your bank coding yet, but it's really interesting to understand yourself on a different level, because if you're a nurture leader, you need to feel community. So Philippa, you're probably high up on the nurture because you want to create community. You want to create that sense of people coming together, sharing wisdom. And so that probably stems from your biopsychology as well. Then you also have, which is a lot of my clients, the knowledge-based leaders. So they are very intelligent, love knowledge, want to gather knowledge, want to distill knowledge, want to understand the world. And that the problem with that is we have to also like keep a bit of a tap on the knowledge and not just blurt out a lot of information, because people don't buy off information. So this is where the psychology really comes into it. But what you want to do in your book is actually make sure that each of those bank codes are addressed. So you want the action in the book. You want a bit of knowledge in the book. You want to nurture them so they feel part of a community. And you also want a blueprint. So those people who love a step-by-step blueprint, you want to make sure that your book has this blueprint. So those that are blueprint buyers, they feel seen and heard and comfortable and trustworthy. They can trust you because you have a system in place. So this is also the next level of really positioning your book well. And we can certainly, infuse some of these elements into your book to help it do better and to speak at a more balanced level. And so with your book, now we're starting to think about the next part of the journey is how are we going to launch your book? What are we going to fuel it with? What are you going to run ads to it? Are you going to share it organically? How are you going to turn this into a system on autopilot so you can wake up to warm to hot buyers faster and fill your programs? Like, this is the reason why you're writing the book, right? Not just to write the book. It is creating the system for your business. So let's be super clear on what this has to be and what needs to be there inside your business. So your signature book will be the premium client journey. And then the desirable experience inside the book will give them so much value that they want to take a next step. And you'll embody your author era and lead with your book, online, podcasts, PR, all over the place to activate your message. And this is an important part of the journey. It's not finishing with writing a book. It's actually these other two steps that most people leave out because the book is the start of the journey. And when you do this right, you're going to differentiate yourself as an elite expert in your field, attract committed premium clients who value transformation, and have greater revenue with fewer clients because you're now positioned at premium and you are leading a business that can scale without burnout. And this is the passion for me. This is what creates a legacy business, is really being strategic with what you're selling and how you're going to bring your clients into your business. All right. So before we get into the activation of your book, I know that a lot of you are thinking, geez, there's a lot here. And I know that I probably need a bit of a help in some of these areas. I'm not going to tell you that you can do this alone, because a lot of these parts are critical in creation of a really good book. So I want to empower you to understand how I can help you, what I do, and what the journey looks like, obviously. So I help authors or authors to be to write their first book, and then the journey starts. And then we build out the sales pathway. And we also make sure you have a very clear high ticket offer. And we look at how to mobilize your business by you leading in front of the book and being seen as the expert and developing your brand and really building that confidence to close sales. And so this is the power of everything I do. The author era experience is a 12-month container. I obviously want people to really write their book fast. So I have a 3-month accelerator, right? But I also understand that some people don't want to be pressured for time to write their book. So there's a 12-month experience where you can come in and evolve your book. I still have some clients who are out there writing their books a year later. Totally fine. Sometimes when the time's right, your book gets written fast, right? And you have to become that version that writes the book. So that's totally fine. But this experience will help you develop into that leader and get that clarity in your offer, what book you need to write and how to position it, right? So you've got that first level tier done. The next level is the high ticket author program, and that is everything. That is everything I've ever created, everything I've ever helped clients with in one experience. And there's nothing else besides the high ticket author. And I'm very, very excited about this because now you can just get the roadmap and build out your business components, the pillars with me, and get it personalized and have that accountability and build out your systems and your sales confidence and everything so that you can monetize your offer, right? So that you can work with clients, so that you can get out of this overwhelm and really start working like a successful business owner, a CEO, and really understand and love what you do and change your generational wealth. So with that said, I'd love to have Philippa here, who has been a client of the program for quite some time, and then she's taken a bit of leave to go around Australia, do a bit of travel, like re-energized in her life. So I'd love to invite you in, Philippa, if you want to just share some words on, how you met me, what your journey's been like, and obviously I'm excited to continue to work with you as you build out your book. So I'll hand it over to you.
So I met Kerry, I think, I'm going to say, because the whole 12 months of traveling sort of moved a whole section of my life out. And I got to work with Kerry for 3 months, and I just found how invested she was in my success. It wasn't about what she was wanting out of our relationship. It was about bringing the best of me out into this world. And I had to take a step back for mental reasons and a few other reasons. And when I was finally ready again, she stepped back into my life very smoothly to just give me those gentle nudges, because I can be quite feminine and I do need a little bit more masculine, but I hate the masculine things. It actually makes me a little bit icky. So having someone on my side who cares about my journey as much as me is really helpful for my transformation and my book as well. So we've actually pivoted on the book because we were doing something completely different, and Kerry's just gone, okay, no worries, let's just step into that and make it the best. So it's been amazing that we can reconnect again and level up to the next level.
Yes, and I want to say that it's a journey, this creating a business. You evolve, you change. Like Philippa, when we first met, you were doing bookkeeping, and I was saying to you like, oh, I remember the days when I was doing that business, and like, what exactly is calling you in this life? So at that stage, you were very much, sort of half in, half out, trying to work out what's going to bring the money in and what's the actual dream and desire that you want to do. And I'm so proud of everything you've done in the last few months. You've managed to decide for yourself what you want to follow. And the bookkeeping business is now outside of the realm of your life, and you now get to focus on your dream and build this business. So that's amazing. And I think these things can't be rushed. And, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I think I did share with you my story and how I, stepped away from my bookkeeping business and realized what I really truly wanted to do. And it can be scary because it's easy to get time for money. It's easy to just do the thing. But over time, you realize that there's costs to your family, to your mental health. And I think you've realized that as well. And this is all going to come into your book, right? Where you've discovered something within yourself. Yeah. So I'd love you to share a bit about, yeah. So yeah, it's been really great. And, for me, it's about working alongside you to see your genius and to help you bring it out. And we're all ever evolving, but you don't need anything more, right? You've already got so many amazing things within you that are valuable that you can bring to the world and turn it into an offer and have clients. Like, that is my belief. By age 30, we as women are so overqualified. And the thing is, we get into the masculine and we think we need another qualification, we need another experience, we need all these things, another award, and that just keeps us stuck. So one of my passions is to help you see your value and know that it's just now about positioning your gifts and also getting really clear on the offer that you want to be known for, that you want to monetize and scale. And after that point, once we get that in and that's like ready, and I'm excited to work with you next week to really unpack that, because once that hits in and you're seeing this beautiful offer that you have in front of you that is high ticket, that's something that you only need to work with a few clients, that's when the business starts moving and things just start feeling easy and flowy. Yeah, I'm excited for you. Thank you so much for sharing all of those beautiful
part I'm most excited about.
Amazing. Yeah. And look, you can have many offers in your life. So don't think because you've had an offer and it didn't sell that you have to go and change your whole business. No, sometimes it's just in a tweak or in a slight positioning, a deeper need that you need to hit. And so obviously my evolution has been from business coaching to like spiritual business, feminine coaching, to energetic coaching, now into focus more on the practical side of solving a big problem of people attracting leads and having a clear sales sequence and doing it in such a way that's not about funnels and funnel hacking. It's actually this beautiful experience, but it also focuses on high ticket offers so that as women, we get paid well. We do amazing work and we don't have to hustle and worry about cash flow anymore. It's more about this graceful business that can grow with us, that allows us to take leave, that allows us to have time off with our family, school holidays, all the things, and still feel amazing at what we do. Amazing. So excited. So let's move on to the prompt section and we'll get into building out this book. Righty. Yeah, so when we start building out the book, this is what I want you to think of as the end result. This is your sales sequence. How is someone going to receive your book? Well, most likely on some sort of opt-in page, you're going to have your book, what's in it, what problem it solves. You might even offer some bonus materials. Like I mentioned the other day, Cressida came through a vision board workbook that also had a live event experience and it had vision board templates. So in thinking about a premium client, templates, fast, quick, desirable. The vision board workshop was also at the start of a journey, right? Let's create your vision, the start. So it wasn't about selling an offer at the beginning of the year. That was the very trending topic, and that with ads brought in over 400 leads. So I know that this works when you get the messaging right and you get the right thing at the right time. And this whole sequence, I help my clients build out. So Philippa, since you've been gone, this has all been now part of template systems, and you can get your sales page and your ebook dropped into your system and have all of these automated. This is really exciting because now you get to jump through the tech headache and actually just start optimizing your business, saving yourself time and tears. No more cries about building out a sales page, and we just get into plugging in your beautiful book and having people drop into your world. All right. So yeah, the easier I can make this for you, the more joyful the business experience can be. And then you can focus on what you need to focus on, which is what you love doing. All right. And, as we build out your sales page, we look at, testimonials and bringing together the key elements that need to be there, compelling, tagline and testimonials, ROI results, videos, social proof, and any sort of bonuses that are relevant to this theme. So you just get people to move and take action. And I think I mentioned yesterday a bit about the author program, but these are all the modules that are part of what I do. So I teach you obviously AI Powerhouse, metrics, financial dashboards, author ads, how to turn your book into a luxury ebook with Canva, all of the content, and customize a roadmap for you as well. So you have this very clear journey of what actions you need to take in which order. You will get a 12-month roadmap created with just 2 or 3 key focus areas each quarter, so that you're not overwhelmed, you are clear on what you need to do next, and it is customized based on where you are right now. Right. So it's not about jumping into a course and starting at the beginning and feeling like you're already halfway there. You get pointed to the right area and taken through that as you need it. And yes, obviously the very first steps are in getting you mobilized, getting this book offer created and having you have your first sales. That is the very first step. So yesterday we built out your Lux offer. You should have a document by now that has some ideas about your Lux offer. You probably already have one, or a sales page. And these things you can now put into your software. Now you're also going to be thinking about your Lux client. So these are very 2 important parts before you write the book, really understanding who you want to call in and what they need to know and what they value. So the values mindset, like I mentioned before, an action leader, I love to bring in action clients because I just work really well with people who take a lot of action. But I also know that I'm a very good match for those people who aren't really high in action because I fit the gap, right? So a lot of nurture-based leaders who are very into their emotions and feeling don't really have that action focus. So having that action is really great. So you can decide, what do you want to lead with in your book? My books, as you can see, are very short, sweet, action focused because I want to bring in action takers. But yours might be more about the transformation, the nurturing, and changing their value mindset. It might be journaling. It might be something a bit different. So it really depends on the type of client you want to bring in. Amazing. Okay, so let's get into creating your book. All right. Feel free. I will share the slides with you. So Martina, I see you writing. I will share some slides with you as well. Yeah, amazing. And then you can
All right.
grab all that. I know it's a lot of information. But hey, this is, part of piecing together a lot of different things to get it right. Like I mentioned, I can write many different books, but I choose to write one signature book because each book deserves a funnel, and you don't want to be writing 10 books and each of them need their own funnel. That would just be a nightmare. Okay, so I'm going to start with building your book outline with AI Powerhouse. So I just want to talk through the strategy first. So you've got this in your mind, and then we will start with the AI software and play around with it. So the very first thing here is to clarify who you are, your niche, and your premium offer. Ideally, you already have a sales page that's in a document that you can upload and say, here it is, right? But if you don't, you need to type in, this is the client, this is my premium offer, this is what I'm selling, and this is a transformation promise. The next step is, what is the first win for the person who downloads your book? What's the first aha moment? What is the thing that you want the book to be about? The next step is, what exactly is breakthrough she needs right now? Like, why does she need to know or download this book right now? Is there, like with AI, a current urgency around, you got to learn this AI software now, otherwise you're going to be left behind, right? So there's a level of urgency there. If you don't do this now, what's going to happen? Okay, so tying your book to something that has this desire that she wants solved. And then also, what results have you got? Now, this is where I ask my clients to go through their case studies of their best clients. What result did you get your best clients? How did you get it? And what result can you just put in your book and show proof that it works? So if you think of it that way, if you have an ideal client and you absolutely loved working with them and you achieve something really fast that you'll love to repeat and attract more of those clients, isn't it as simple as going back step by step on that journey and putting that into your book? Because that's going to attract more of the same client, right? And you've done it already. You've got proven case studies that can go into your book. So sometimes it's important to really look at our genius and what we're good at, and then share those results through the book, because then you have your case study, you have real examples. You can do screenshots of okay, this is the step and this is how this person completed the step. Or this is the step I took. Here is exactly what happened when I took that step. It's almost like a piece by piece behind the scenes walkthrough. Powerful. I love behind the scenes walkthroughs. And I actually have now unpacked every single client I've worked with into a client case study document, right down to the level of the pain points they came with, the steps I took with them, the results they achieved, screenshots of comments and screenshots of results, so that that singular document can be used in ebooks, emails, social media proof, reels, all of that. So this is in developing the assets of your business. And so when you think about client case studies, how amazing would it be? Maybe even to just create a book about your client results in working with you using your systems. You could obviously just call them different names. You don't have to name anyone in your book, but that's a really great way of showing that behind the scenes journey and that other people have done it too. All right, I know I can see you all thinking deeply, which is really good. Okay, now let's think about mapping the journey. So we're going to break down the transformation into stages. So what's the very first step? and maybe a step or two. And then the next obvious step has to be from the book to a call or a book to the next thing. But you want to unpack your client journey into at least 5 or 8 steps inside your book so they can see this is the 8 steps. I'm taking you through the first 2 steps inside this book. That leaves a gap. That leaves them like, oh my God, there's more to the story. Okay, once I complete these 2, then I take the next step, which is to do this. And that becomes then the client journey map. All right, amazing. So these get, like I mentioned before, put into the 3 parts of the book. So the next part is give her the thing, like give her the tools, the templates, the step, the how to. Okay, so you want a quick win. So whether that is a checklist, a toolkit they can download, whether in the book there's like prompts or like a step-by-step flow, give them something tangible. Put a book into the world with all this like general information and not actually anything that can land. So for those action leaders like me, I skip through most of my books until I find the thing that I need solved and I just go and do that piece. So what if in your book, the action people can just skip to step 2 in your book and just get the action done. And then once they've achieved that, they're like, okay, now I'm going to read part 1. And now I'm actually really interested in this person. So now I'm going to read what they offer and I'm going to take the next step. And this is why I position my books and my clients' books in these 3 parts because of that buyer behavior and what people need. And it's very clear with the book where people can jump to just get results or to understand the blueprint, the roadmap and the bigger mission and the nurturing of the story of why this came into being. All right. And once you have all that, then you draft out your book outline. Okay. So now we have really thought about the strategy. Now we've really dove into what book we want to create. And I can tell you a secret that you can literally just look at these 2 slides and answer the questions into your chat GPT. You can speak out your book. It's as simple as that. You go through each of these prompts. I will share them in an email. So you have these 2 pages and you also obviously have your ebook prompt document. But the thing is, I love to speak out my books because when I get into typing and writing, I get a bit stuck. But if I just look at the prompts and I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to think of Cressida and yep, she's going to be my case study for this book. So let's just think about her journey. And I'm going to start speaking out the pain points, you know, what she experienced, what the first steps are on the journey, what we did when we did them, and then some practical tips, and then you put them into AI Powerhouse and you've got an amazing book. So make it easy for yourself. In the download ebook, I have 1 section for those people who are just like want to pop in some comments and just feed the app and answer it step by step. And the second part are for those people who want to speak it out. So like Philippa, you might just want to turn on your voice recording and just kind of speak through some prompts. So it's also written with those people in mind, the very detail orientated people, and then also those that just like, you know what, I just want to kind of like evolve it as we go. And that's certainly a great way to get your voice out and to also, you know, not feel stuck in the journey. Amazing. Okay. So the AI prompts, I am going to open up this document and just walk through that with you. And then we're going to move on to some question and answer time. Okay, so let's see, I've got it up here. All right, so let me know in the comments if you all have the AI Powerhouse now loaded on your computer. If you need the link, I can pop the link back in there and we're going to start moving through the document. Yep, great, amazing. I'm going to pop the link in here quickly as well. So you're literally going to click on the link and it's going to move into your ChatGPT as its own custom GPT. Simple as that. And then you're going to open up the document for the prompts and we're going to just take five minutes to start, you know, populating the prompts and see how it works. And I can obviously answer some questions and then you've got this to take away. You've got this to evolve, you know, your ideas and start playing with it. And maybe you need to take a few steps back and build out some of your offer, your pain points, your customer journey so that you can get a really good output. Okay, so this is AI Powerhouse. So how it works here is you get to build your signature book outline in just 90 minutes. So give yourself some time, play around with it, move through the prompts, see how it goes through. And what we might do actually, Flipper, if you'd like to do this together, we can absolutely start building out your book outline together. If you want to pop in some responses in the chat. That is something, literally all we're going to do now is we're going to start moving through the prompt document. So let me get that up here. All right, so let me know if you have any problems with accessing the app. No, good. Okay. All right, so the very first prompt here is probably something that I would suggest you just tick on. So I want to write a short book. So this is a prompt, it's already preset. You just click on it and it's going to ask you all the questions that I have said need to be answered. So great. You literally now just need to feed in some foundational information into the software. So what is your niche? What's your ideal client? Yep. Okay, so your signature offer at the moment. Obviously this prompt document is actually a small component of a bigger document. So we go through this in lots of different stages. Stage 2. I do want to ask you what you have learnt from today as far as using AI, learning how to use the software, and really understanding the process of creating your book outline. It is something that can be really quick when you are clear on those first steps, like I mentioned earlier.
I actually just love that the AI can be a little bit of my masculine planning to my soft, nurturing feminine that I don't want to actually do that stuff. So I can put the prompts in and it can do that other half for me.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if you have a prompt, it's almost like literally within my coaching program, we will sit for an hour and we'll literally have the pieces together. It'll be, Philippa, call up your high ticket offer document. Great. Call up your ICP. Great. All right, let's sit down and let's just put them in and do the prompts step by step by step. And we build it out together live. Because I haven't worked with you all before, there's probably some steps and things that you don't have currently accessible. But you can definitely have a play with the software and see what comes out of it. But I really just wanted you to leave with the understanding that it's not that hard to use, that there are some key steps along the way to make it successful, and that I absolutely love the process of building it out with the knowledge of knowing where I'm going. So if you start seeing the content not really coming out the way you want, then you can use your own brains and wisdom to be like, no, not like that, like this, right? There's a lot of, yeah, you missed it. No, like this. So sometimes I have to actually paste in some examples of what I want again to be like, that's too short. That's too long. It needs to be in this tone. And you do have to just start getting used to toning the software and knowing what you want out of it. And that's why I wanted to show you a bit of this is what I've done. There's some example. It still looks messy. It's a first book draft. It's totally fine, but we're getting there. So I love that you're leaving empowered with using and embracing AI software. And look, it's something that is, I think, an important part of business these days. And just like the computer, just like all the new advancements, taking it and saying, how many hours can I put into learning this? How can I use it in different ways in my business? How can I be smarter? And how can I also think about my clients? And how could I create templates with AI to make things more streamlined, a bit more structured? How I have a client who is amazing with the software, and she has created her own app and personalizes it for each client. And that's the level that I'm moving to as well. So when you work with me, you'll actually get the app preloaded with your offer document, with your ICP, with all the things that need to be in there. So you get your app that speaks to your ideal client, and then you use that app and it's already toned and positioned well for you, because that is where we're moving these days. Instead of teaching you how to do it all yourself, you just get it done because we've already done all the foundations. And that's what I love, is the power of this, because once I've created the app for myself and seen the benefit, why wouldn't I customize it for my clients and help them get there faster too? Yeah. So it's if you're not embracing this in your business, what are you doing? Because your clients are then struggling, doing things that they don't need to be learning, they don't need to be spending time on, when they could just be really decluttered and moving to the next step. Amazing. Wonderful. So thank you so much for today. I'm so looking forward to your book outlines. Make sure that if you've been inspired by what I've been sharing in the last few days, then you definitely get your book outline. Book in a call with me, bring your book outline, your idea, your book that you've written, and let's be on a one-to-one call. Let's do that business audit together, and let's really look at what are the next steps for you and what makes sense for you right now. And just like what all my beautiful clients are sharing, I'm here for you. I want to make sure that I understand your business and I know where you're going and looking at the very next steps that make sense for your journey. So I'd love to invite anyone, whether you're watching the replay or you're here live. I love seeing your faces, and I'm here for you. I've got a few bookings in the calendar now, so you can book in at your own time that makes sense. And I'm very much looking to meeting each of you individually. And yeah, look, even if you didn't even watch each of the days of the 3 days, literally people are jumping straight from registering to a call with me because they just can kind of see that I am different and I get where they're at, that they just book a call. So don't feel like you've got to catch up. It's what I've covered in the last 3 days is a very small piece of a bigger puzzle, and definitely something that I'd love to take you through on a one-to-one call and explain a bit more details about the program and all the bits and pieces. But I like to do that individually because I want to hear, what are your needs? What are your desires? Where are you at? What makes sense? And to me, it's not about diving through a big sales pitch or anything like that. I've led with value. I feel really good about the last few days. I've built something amazing. I'm so excited for more people to have this and have the realization on how they can lead with books and use AI and really build their sales system. That makes me proud, and it makes me feel really accomplished, and it makes me feel that my clients are also going to be empowered as well, leading with their books and getting their books done faster. So it's amazing. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you on one-to-one calls, and have an amazing day.